All right, ayan. So, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Estudiante Blues. And you are tuned in to the Greatness Hub online channel. This is the only online channel affiliated with iHelp Coaching and Business Solution. And once again, you are tuned in to Estudiante Blues. So before we begin today's episode, I would like to take this opportunity to once again invite you to like, subscribe, and of course, binge watch all our programs here in the Greatness Hub online channel, the only online channel affiliated with iHelp Coaching and Business Solutions. So for today's episode, ayan, if you would allow me to share my screen. Okay, so for tonight's episode, our topic is entitled Harnessing the Power of Managing Time in this Digital Divide. So we will be discussing time management, particularly in this digital age. Okay, so why is time management important? Yan. So this is very, very important because basically we as an individual are very, very busy, especially for college students who they have a lot on their plate. And with this pandemic, even if they are detailed in the home and we just think they really have so much time in their hands, balancing family time, balancing academic requirements, balancing personal and social life, and a whole lot more, we find it difficult to find time for everything. That's why we will be discussing today the importance of how we could strike a balance between the different activities that we engage in a particular point in our life. Yeah. So simply put, when we say managing time, it is just simply managing life. And since we, as an individual, we wear different hats at every single part of our lives, sometimes we act as a brother, a sister, at certain times we act as a daughter, at certain times we are a friend, at one point in within the day we are a student, diba? And we are a confident and a whole lot more. We spend more our time in the social media. So we must be able to effectively manage all these things so that our life will be striking a balance and we will be avoiding exhaustion or fatigue or stress. That's why we must learn how to manage our time for us to be able to manage our life effectively. All right, so let's discuss our subtopics one by one. Okay, so have you ever wondered, and that we all share the same 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days in a year. But have you thought why other people seems to have more time in their life? They seem to be more productive. They achieve so much at a certain point in time. Diba? So why do other people seem more productive than others? Do you want to know their secret? Ayan, do you want to know their secret? Okay, their secret is actually productivity. So why does productivity got to do with managing time? How are they become more productive within a day when we all share the same number of hours, minutes, days, weeks, months, and years? Pareho lang naman yan. But why can they achieve so much when some others don't? Now, the secret will be revealed today. So you want to know more about that? So let's continue. Ayan. So the secret is time management. So what is time management? Time management is simply the process of organizing and planning. Planning what? How you are able to divide your time between and among specific activities or tasks. So again, I repeat, time management or managing your time is simply the process of how you organize and you plan on how you're going to divide your time between and among specific activities or tasks. Okay, so the most important is for you to be able to identify the key elements so that you'll be able to manage your time effectively. Ayan. So what happens if you are not able to manage your time effectively or efficiently? Ayan. What happens when you do not know how to manage your time? At this point in time, each and every one of us, we do have different strategies on how we manage our time. But the question is your strategy managing your time effective or efficient? When we say effective or efficient, you are able to achieve your goal for a specific day, for a specific time day of the day. So if you are not able to achieve your goal to begin with, and you do not have an effective or an efficient time management strategy. Okay, so what happens when we do not have effective, efficient time management? Or simply put, without time management, what happens? Let's see. Ayan. So ikaw ba to? Tanungin mo yung sarili mo. If you are not able to manage your time efficiently, these are probable results. One, you miss deadlines. So come to think of it, for the past school year, yan, school year 2020, 2021, have you missed submission deadlines? If you did, that would only mean that you are not able to manage your time effectively or efficiently. And another thing is if you get failing grades or incomplete grades, basically a cause of missing deadlines or not being able to manage your time effectively or efficiently. Yeah, this is a result. So check your grades. If you have incomplete grades or if you have failing grades, tendency is that this is a direct result of you not able to manage your time effectively or efficiently. The next one is that your output is not of quality. Okay, you have poor quality of work. Why? Basically because in most cases for students, we tend to put priorities aside. We wait until the deadline, and then when the deadline is near, that's the time we double our effort so that we'll be able to submit, come up with an output and submit, even if the output that we have produced is of poor quality. And we often say, bahala na si Batman. Okay? So half-baked, less quality, basically because we are not able to manage our time effectively or efficiently. And because we do things in a hurry, we stress out to come up with an output, uh, we are not confident enough with the kind of output that we have. That is why we suffer from low self-esteem. And of course, if we do not manage our time effectively and efficiently, tendency is that we experience high level of stress because definitely we have to submit an output, meet the deadline, double our effort, we become stressed, we experience anxiety. At the end of the day, we end up frustrated and feel some sort of a guilt because we are not able to give our best and that our output is so-so. At sabi nga natin, bahala na si Batman. Okay? So these are just some of the results of our experiences in our daily activities without effective, without efficient time management. So if we want to experience this again in the next semester when we go back to school and go with our academic journey, so you know how it feels already. That's why we would want to correct this poor practice, and we're discussing about time management so that you'll be able to be guided accordingly so that the next time we do our activities, we comply with our requirements, we're able to manage our time effectively and efficiently. Ayan. So, I was telling you about important elements. No? You have to identify the important elements so that you'll be able to manage your time effectively and efficiently. If you remember, we go back to the definition of time management It is simply organizing, planning on how you are going to divide your time between and among your activities. And so the most important elements rather, that you have to take into consideration when you are doing your time management technique is that one, you have to know the different specific activities that you are to accomplish. Again, the most important element is know the specific activities or tasks that you are to accomplish, and of course, the deadline. So don't forget about the deadline. So the question is, do you manage your time effectively? Ayan, or efficiently. So knowing the different effects of not being able to manage your time effectively and efficiently, such as failing grades, diba, missing deadlines, having a poor quality of output, experiencing some sort of stress, anxiety, and so on and so forth. So the best person to identify or know whether or not you're able to manage your time effectively and efficiently is no other than this. Now, reflect, think, think back what happened to you this past school year and assess whether or not you are able to manage your time effectively or efficiently. And so what is effective time management? So when we say effective, alam na natin what is the definition of time management. It's just simply knowing how to plan and how to organize your time for you to be able to achieve your task, no? For a specific period in time. But how effective is it? Meaning you're able to achieve your goal for the day. The first important step for effective time management is having specific goals for the day. So let's go. Ayan. So sabi dyan, first step is that you must have a target goal. So there are two elements we discussed. One is that you must be able to know the different tasks that you are to accomplish. Okay, so after knowing your specific task, you have to identify the deadline. So having the two important elements, the next step is that you have to have, ayan, smart goals. Ayan. It's not just goals specifically, but it has to be SMART goals. So ano yung SMART goals? So when we say SMART goals, it's just an acronym, no? For specific goals. It has to be measurable goals. It has to be achievable goals. It has to be realistic goals. And it has to be a timely goal. Specific. So when we say specific, you have to narrow it down to the most specific goal as much as possible. Okay? So break your big goals into smaller goals, sizable goals, which can be finished in one particular sitting. It has to be measurable. Okay? It has to be measurable. At the end of the day, you are able to at least achieve 100% of your target goal. Say, for example, washing the dishes. Ayan, diba? At the end of the day, when you're done washing the dishes, that's 100% achievable goal. Achievable, meaning it's so specific that it can be finished, achieved 100% the given specific time frame. Ayan. It has to be realistic and it has to have time, it has to be timely or time bound. Okay. So a SMART goal, yan, a SMART goal should be broken down into specific, smaller, sizable, achievable, and realistic goals with specific timetable. So at the end of a 1 hour session, you should be able to learn different techniques on how you are going to effectively manage for one specific hour of session. Okay, so you'll be able to get the different techniques that you will be using for you to be able to handle your time effectively and efficiently. Okay, so as specific as possible, measurable. You can actually get 100%, 50%, 75% of your target specific goals. It can be achieved in one sitting. It is realistic, basically because it is achievable and time bound. You give a specific time frame so that you'll be able to finish your target goals within the day or within the given specific time frame, right? So the next, ayan. So our goals rather are to finish the different tasks that we identified for a specific time frame. But since realistically speaking, we have a whole lot of tasks at hand, we have so many things to do within the day, which activity, which task, which project should come first. Now, this is where prioritizing come into play. So how do we prioritize if we do have a whole lot of things to do in our plate? It's very, very difficult to prioritize. If you have so many things on top priority and everything has to be finished in the same specific amount of time, we prioritize according to deadline. Ayan. Prioritizing according to deadline actually really helps you focus on one specific task or one specific project at a certain time. So how do we prioritize according to deadline? Sabi natin kanina, one important element is that you have to know the different activities or the different tasks at hand. All right? And then the second of the priority is you have to identify the deadline. Getting the deadline or lining up your tasks to prioritize according to deadline actually helps. But you have to know all of these things first. And most importantly, very, very important is that you will be able to jot it down, write it down according to deadline so that you'll be able to see the thing. Okay, write it down according to deadlines so that you'll be able to see the big picture. And then, sabi natin kanina, your goal, it has to be smart. So you are going to divide your big picture into smaller pictures so that you'll be able to accomplish one small chunks of activity at a certain time, deadline, diba? So that you'll be able to finish all your priorities. So let me help you on that. How are we going to do that? So the next one is for you to create a to-do list. Ayan. So I think everyone naman is doing his or her share of creating a to-do list. Diba? So what is to-do list? So when you look at your screen, you can see different kinds of to-do lists. That would be depending on you people and how you'll be able to do your to-do list. You can just write it down in bond paper. At certain times, no, some people use tickler or others still use sticky notes. There is an actual physical sticky note. I have one with me. You could also use your Google Calendar. You could also use your computer. You could also use your cell phone. Okay. Since we are in the digital world, and of course, everyone naman, particularly the generation nowadays, you are so familiar with different applications you can utilize and maximize. And for writing your to-do list, for doing your calendar of activities, and help you to have reminders of the different deadlines that you have so that you'll be able to be updated of the different tasks, of the different projects that you are to accomplish in a given specific time frame. Okay, so balikan natin. You have known your activities, specific tasks. We already identified that. Another element is that we are able to know the deadline of the different activities that we have. So now you're going to write your to-do list. So write the to-do. It's very, very important that you are able to see the bigger picture of what you're doing or what is your challenge for a specific time frame. Always make it a point to write your to-do list in advance, of course, in advance. So you are the best person to identify your kind of personality. Yan, kind of personality. Ibig sabihin, are you a morning or an evening person? So when we say morning person, it is during the day when you have your most energy. Yan. Check your to-do list because you will be busy for the whole day. Now, if you are a night person, meaning you have your most energy during the night and you are mostly asleep the entire the entire day because you spent your energy during the night. So prepare your to-do list either before you go to sleep or check it out when you wake up in the morning or in the evening, whichever the case may be. Right, so do your to-do list in advance. Write all the things that you are to accomplish as your goal for the day. Meaning, if you're going to do that tomorrow, as much as possible, write it the night before or the day before. But if you do not have time anymore because you are exhausted for the day's work, you could actually do your to-do list in the morning or upon waking up. What's important is that you are able to create your to-do list for the day. Now, what's the importance of to-do list? So to-do list is actually the list of the things that you want to accomplish for the day. The question is, what are the things that you are to accomplish for the day? What are your goals? Sabi natin kanina, it has to be smart. So it has to be specific. It has to be measurable. It has to be achievable. It has to be realistic. And there should be time bound. There should be time limit for specific tasks. Okay? So your to-do list would actually guide you whether or not you're able to accomplish your target goals for the day. Right. So to help you with to-do list, one, you could actually use a physical notepad, notebook, tickler, or at certain times sticky notes, just to remind you of the kind of things that you are to accomplish for the entire day. And if you want to see the bigger picture of all the tasks that you are to accomplish for the week, or for the month, or for the semester, or for the entire school year, actually you could list down everything that you are to finish, everything that you have to accomplish in a calendar and break it down into sizable, smarter goals up to the minutes and time of the day. You can have a scheduler for that matter. What's important is that you have to list down everything that you want to accomplish for a specific given point in time within a specific time frame. Okay, so to-do list. Next, time blocking. Okay, so what is time blocking? Simply put, when we say time blocking, it tells you when you're going to do it. Okay, it tells you when you're going to do it. So you already identified the tasks that you are to accomplish. You already know the deadline. You know how to make a to-do list already. The next is you're going to jot it down into time blocked in your calendar. So as you can see in our monitor, you already have your schedule blocked. Ayan. So, this way, knowing when you're going to do it and putting it in your schedule, you already are given a guide on what you are to do on a specific day, on specific time of the day, so that you'll be able to see the different tasks that you are to accomplish, and hopefully you are able to see it through and finish your desired goal. So that is time blocking. Ayan. Corollary to time blocking, ayan, there is also what is called time boxing. Ayan. So what is time boxing? When we say time boxing, this one is allotting a fixed or a maximum unit of time for a certain activity. So say for example, part of your task for the day is going to the gym. And you scheduled kanina yoga, ayan, yoga activity which is part of the gym. That's time blocking, no? So from 6 a.m. until 8 p.m., this is my yoga time. And then you say time boxing, so you're going to block gym time from 8 a.m. until 10 a.m. So time boxing is that this one, 8 to 10, this is what I'm going to accomplish. So if you're going to give specific time frame to specific activity for your target goal for the day, so you'll be able to at least anticipate the different time, how much you're going to do specific tasks. And now your goal is, your target is to finish these plotted activities according to their time box or according to the maximum number of time you allotted for each individual activity or activities that you are to accomplish as your goal for the day. And so that is time boxing. Putting specific time elements for a certain activity lined up for the day. All right. So the next time management technique is the so-called Pomodoro technique. Now, this one is one of the most popular time management technique used in the corporate world. So what is a Pomodoro technique? So a Pomodoro technique is simply choosing one specific task and then two, allotting, allotting 25 minutes time to finish that particular chosen activity or task. And then after the 25 minutes, you go to step 3, you work on this a task that you have chosen, and at the end of the 25-minute mark, your timer will beep, alarm will sound. When the alarm sounds, it only means that you have to take a break. Ayan, take a break for 3 to 5 minutes for you to take your mind off that particular activity. You could either get a cup of coffee, you could also walk around, stretch, look, some other things so that you could actually rest your eyes for eyes to avoid eye strain. And then after the 3 or the 5 minute break, you go back to doing your task if it's not yet done, and you could actually work back and repeat the cycle 4 times for another 25 minutes each time. But the only difference is that if you could just take a little bit longer breaks in between so that you'll be able to feel rested and not exhausted or burned out finishing that particular task. Now, why 25 minutes break? That's what's most important in the Pomodoro technique. If you would recall, according to experts, our attention span, listening, focusing, whatever, lasted for a maximum of 25 minutes, which means effectiveness, efficiency, we could maximize up to the 25 minutes. And after the 25 minutes, our attention, our focus tapers down. And eventually, we lose the drive to do so. So taking 25 minutes maximum focus on specific task and take a break for 3 to 5 minutes will actually give us that kind of recuperating effect so that we are able to relax our mind, relax our body, take a short break, and then the energy that we get from that break would actually boost us for another battle to finish our task at hand. Okay, so that's it. So 25 minutes maximum focus, and then take a break for you to recuperate, and then focus again for another 25 minutes. Taking in between breaks a little bit longer than the first so that we'll be able to see through our task for the day. All right, that's the Pomodoro technique. Ayan. So the last technique for effective time management is to focus. Ayan. Focus, focus, focus. Okay, so what do we mean by focus? So F is follow, O is one, C is course, U is until, and S is successful. When we say focus, it simply means follow one course until successful. And when we say focus, as much as possible when we are doing our task, we should only focus our effort doing one specific activity at a time. Meaning, if we are attending our classes, no? Typically, when we take a look at our screen, what do we see? Ako, for one, I'm guilty of this. No? Focus. Um, my screen usually looks like I open my messenger. And then side to side with my messenger is my email open. So it's Gmail, uh, Outlook, and Yahoo Mail. And of course, I open the Facebook. And of course, I open my LMS. So sometimes it's Zoom, it's MS Teams, sometimes there is Google Meet, and there are other times that I open four, including Facebook Live, and have simultaneous activities at the same time, four simultaneous activities at the same time. You get my point. We lack focus. And the culprit is that we tend to think that we are a good multitasker. Ayan, multitasking is one of our talents, but actually it's not. Uh, for us to be able to see through and finish our goals established for a specific time frame, we should, should as much as possible, focus at one particular task at hand, as much as possible. Okay, because we have this motivation, we have our mindset, mindset to finish this specific task at specific time frame. Yeah. So for us to push through and make sure that these activities are finished at a given time frame, we should really let our mind, our body, our soul to focus on that particular activity at hand. Okay. If we can, as much as possible, eliminate distractions. So what are the common distractions? What are the common distractions to our daily activities? One, of course, the biggest distraction of all is the use of our smartphone. Diba? Lahat tayo may smartphone. Yung iba nga, doble-doble pa. And given the fact that some of the students actually use smartphones as their LMS, their tool in having their online classes. It's okay if you are using the smartphone as your replacement for a desktop or a laptop. You can actually use that. But if you could, as much as possible, move away from or refrain from using other applications that would keep your mind wander away from your specific task at hand. As much as possible, focus at one particular activity and finish it before you move on to the next. Okay? If you're using your laptop or you're using your desktop and you have your phone with you because you would want to wait for like the given notification of emergency messages whatsoever. To keep your mind from being distracted, if you could, and I suggest you should keep your cell phone at a safer distance, away from where you can easily have access to it. Okay? Just have a view that there is actually a message coming to you or you being notified, but as much as possible beyond your reach, so that the idea of you getting up and reaching for that particular uh, cell phone to check your message would keep you from doing so because it would take quite an effort for you to do that. Okay? If you are using naman your desktop or your laptop for you to keep distracted, uh, keep you away from distractions as much as possible, just open the applications or the windows of the tab that you are supposed to use. So if you are having your class right now, just open the LMS that your class is using. So if you're using Zoom, just open the Zoom. Do not open the Messenger, do not open the mail, do not open any game like that. Do not open Facebook. Just simply open the class so that you will be having your 100% attention and focus to the task that you're having right now. Okay? And most importantly, please take extra effort to reduce distractions. Like in most cases, one of the distractions of students, since they do have classes at home, is the family. Yeah. The family. At certain times, parents will be calling on them and ask them to do chores. Diba? And that is one of the concerns of the students. Okay? If in cases of things like that, scheduling is very, very important. We know that you have your chores. We also have ours as teachers, diba? But sabi nga natin, there is always a time for everything. You know your schedule, you know time blocking, diba? You know other techniques. So schedule is very, very important. That's why we are um, planning, we are organizing, and we're using different time management techniques. So that we will be able to give specific time frame for the different specific activities that we are to finish within the day or the week or the month or the school year. All right? So focus at one particular task at hand at a certain time, and as much as possible, eliminate distractions. So you are the best person to know the different distractions. Yan. The different distractions that you encounter every single day. So avoid distractions and focus, focus, focus. Ayan. So accordingly, if you are not able to control your schedule will control you. At the end of the day, if you do not plot everything that you are to accomplish, tendency is that we will be going back to the different effects of you having no time management at all. you have a whole lot of things to do in a specific time frame, and having so much things to do, it pays for you to plot your schedule, take control of your schedule so that you'll be able to maximize your productivity. So do not let time control you, but rather control your time for efficient time management. Ayan. So before I leave, I want to give you some thoughts to ponder. So according to Ecclesiastes 3 verse 1, there is a time for everything and a season for everything under the heavens. Ibig sabihin, with everything that we do, with everything that we must accomplish, there should be specific time frame. So since you are the best person to know these activities, might as well give a specific time to specific activities. And that would really help you manage your time effectively and efficiently so you'll be able to develop effective time management skill. Now, this can be used not only at this point in time that you are students, but this is a practical skill that is needed when you will be already practicing your profession in the business world. So hope you learn more this time. You are able to get as much from our discussion. So once again, thank you for being with me this evening, and thank you very much for staying with me today. So this is your host. My name is Coach Luz, and you are tuned in to Estudiante Blues here in the Greatness Hub online channel, the only online channel affiliated with iHealth Coaching and Business Solutions Incorporated. So I see you again next week, once again to another episode of Estudiante Blues. But before we leave, don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, share our programs to all your friends. So see you again next week, guys. Bye for now.